Sisu v'simchu v'simchas Torah usnu kavod la Torah. This is a splendid and very, very wonderful story, which you may have heard, but which is so beautiful, worth repeating. The morning of Simchas Torah, of Baruch Rabinowitz and his son, Natan Shlomo, who had Down syndrome, headed off to Yeshiva Torah Vadas to dance, sing, and revel in the completion of yet another cycle, the annual Torah reading. Young Natan Shlomo was as happy as it could be. He carried along his own beautiful little Sefer Torah made out of paper, which his parents had bought him. It was by no means a Sefer Torah, like a Sefer Torah, which you couldn't be learning from it, but to little Natan Shlomo, it was as real as could be. After the dancing and singing concluded, it was time to read from the Torah and call each and every individual up for his aliyah, as we go in Simchas Torah. Numerous different Torah went out to be read in various sections of the shul, and all of the lanings would be simultaneously done. As Natan Shlomo looked at all the many Sefer Torah and began to wonder what would happen with his little Sefer Torah. He approached one of the Gaboim and he said, "Are you going to read from my Sefer Torah?" The Gabbai looked at little Natan Shlomo, knowing what his answer was, but not knowing or not having the heart to tell him. His little paper Sefer Torah was beautiful, but you couldn't learn from it. Looking over at Natan Shlomo and the Gabbai was Rav Avram Pam Zatzal, the Rosh Yeshiva of Torah Vadas. He had overheard what Natan Shlomo had said and realized what the issue was. Without hesitating, Rav Pam got up and walked over to Natan Shlomo, who still stood aside the Gabbai, waiting for the answers to why his Sefer Torah could not be used. Rav Pam whispered into Natan Shlomo's ear. All that he heard from Natan Shlomo was a soft, compliant reply, "Okay." And with that, Natan Shlomo quietly went back to his seat. Everyone watched in surprise as Rav Pam appeared to have said the perfect words to ease Natan Shlomo. No one had any idea what they were. Natan Shlomo remained peacefully seated throughout the remainder of the davening, periodically asking his father when everyone would begin going home. By the time davening was over, it was close to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, as usual on Simchas Torah. It was finally time. Rav Pam walked over to Natan Shlomo, who was eagerly waiting. "Do you remember what I told you, Natan Shlomo?" Rav Pam said, "Now it's your turn." And so right then and there, as the many women were filing out of the shul, Rav Pam remained with Natan Shlomo dancing and singing. The two of them enjoyed their own little hakafis. Now Shlomo was given a make-believe aliyah to his Torah as it was read from aloud. Now everyone understood. Rav Pam whispered to Natan Shlomo, right now it is the time for the older people in shul to use their Sefer Torah. After we finish davening, we'll use your Sefer Torah, and you will receive an aliyah, and we will dance together. And that's exactly what they did. Rosh Yeshiva, the great Rosh Yeshiva, made time for young Natan Shlomo and showed him that he mattered and was just as important. Such is the true joy of Simchas Torah and the mark, the great Torah leader, written by Rav Chaim Dahan, quoted in the Torah Tablet a number of years ago. That to me is such a wonderful story about Simchas Torah, how we can be sensitive to everybody and what sensitivity is. That story you may have read already and you just heard. I'm going to tell you a different story about sensitivity, which Rav Allbaum told us right before shofar blowing this last Rosh Hashanah. Many years ago, there was a plane hijacking that was happening in the Israelis many, many times. On this particular plane was Rav Hutner. This is a very famous story for the older people, and the people who were not yet born, you can hear it. And there were tefillos all over the world for the people on that plane, and particularly for Rav Hutner. Baruch Hashem, the story has a happy ending. They were all released, and all got out safely. On that particular plane, there was a young woman who got back to New York and was doubly thrilled because her best friend's chasana was the next day. She came home and told her mother, "Oh, I made it. I can be home in time for my friend's chasana." Her mother tells her, "You can't go to that chasana." Her daughter was shocked. "Mom, this is my friend's chasana. I made it out in time. I want to go to my friend's chasana." "Mother, you cannot go to this chasana. This is my best friend. I have to go to this chasana. You can't go to this chasana. But why? Why can't I go to this chasana? The answer she told her, my dear, is if you go to this chasana, you will be the center of attention. You'll be the one who got out of that plane hijack. This is the Kala's night, the center of attention. You have to allow her to be the center of attention because this is her special night for her whole life. You cannot take that away from her. That is sensitivity. That's exactly the same sensitivity. That's a mother's sensitivity to someone who is not her daughter. That shows us what sensitivity is. And we could all learn from that. I thought that was a splendid way to start the year. Let us all be sensitive to each other and be a little bit more caring and a little bit more concerned about everybody else, relatives and non-relatives alike. Shabbos Gidyantiv.